earthquake. We're going to tell you how strong it was.
And look at this.
A century of futility is forgotten. The Indiana Hoosiers are the kings of college football.
Not anymore. Yeah. The Hoosiers, college football champions for the very first time. We will show you the moment that really defined the entire season. Just an epic game and an epic performance by their Heisman Trophy winning quarterback.
He is Superman, yes. Plus, the cold snap causing problems for homeowners across Chicagoland. We're going to tell you how to avoid some costly mistakes. All
right, we thank you for joining us here on your Tuesday morning, 7 o'clock. Another frigid start to the day.
There was something in the air last night. The stars were bright. Fernando.
Yes, they were blaring that ABBA song in the stadium afterwards, and people were singing along. It was a wholesome moment there, and I thought you were going to reference the sky itself. People were texting me, along with congrats to your Hoosiers, about the aurora.
Yes. There was a significant geomagnetic storm caused by a solar flare. It's what we call a coronal mass ejection into space. It hit the Earth yesterday, and it sparked widespread northern lights. But around here, even though the skies were clear, not that many people saw it. The timing wasn't exactly right to see it here. I tried to take a picture. It looked like garbage, but I did share on social media some pictures from folks not far away that had a good view of it. If you saw it, congratulations. You're going to see sun today, but it's not going to help too much with the temperatures. This is going to be another cold day, just not as harsh as yesterday. Temperatures are getting into the low 20s. Woohoo! 31's a normal high. It'll still be 7 at 9, 16 at noon. Wind chills close to 0 at that time. And then beginning to get a little bit cloudier by 4 o'clock ahead of an Alberta Clipper that's bringing snow to the area tonight. 0 at Aurora. 2 below 0 in Woodstock, 4 below 0 at Rockford. It is 4 above at Midway and Chicago's lakefront, 0 at Valparaiso, 1 at Gary. So these temperatures still, had we not gone through yesterday morning, it would really be harsh. Wind chill's not 20 below 0 anymore, but we still feel like minus 15 at Waukegan, Woodstock. Wind chill is 12 below at O'Hare, and the same at Valparaiso. Another very cold day, and this is not the coldest day in my forecast. I got more bad news if you don't like cold weather coming up. How about bad news or good news on the roads, Gabriella?
Mike, we have some bad news, actually. We have Skyfox over the inbound side of the Kennedy. This is causing quite a mess. Near North Avenue, here's the 2 vehicles that are involved in this crash. And this red vehicle, it's actually pretty beat up there. Looks like there's crews getting on scene right away, but everyone's trying to merge to the right, out of the way, or I should say over to the left to merge out of the way of this crash here. That's, near North Avenue, again, inbound side of the Kennedy. I'll catch up with that here in a second from Skyfox. But also still talking about the northbound side of I-65 over here in the Hobart area. It's going to be a slow go for you if you're heading towards I-80-94. It's a little bit more of clear of a picture since the sun is up, but you can see now the left lane is blocked with this crash, but also looks like a right center lane still. Maybe they're cleaning up some debris. Traffic starts around 61st all the way to this area again in northwest Indiana. Let's go back over to Skyfox. It looks like they're trying to get that cleaned up right away. We can't see any really debris that maybe is there that needs to be cleaned up, but still at least 15 or so minutes until that's cleared up. I'll keep you updated on this. Drive times looking okay, around 45 minutes on the Kennedy from here to downtown. I'll send it back to you or to Roseanne. Roseanne is here because, of course, we want to make sure that we're keeping warm in this cold temperatures. Roseanne, you're taking some shelter with folks at a Chicagoland cafe.
That's right. We were out in the cold, and this tells you how cold it was. We're like, okay, we need to take some shelter. So we came to the Golden Apple on the north side, and I just walked in. Mary just walked in, so she's the better person to talk about how cold it is right now. Earmuffs still on. What's it like out there right now?
Oh, it's freezing. It's like I'm still crying. It's so cold.
Yeah, I was going to ask you to describe how cold. Some people describe it as, I'm unable to breathe.
It's definitely that specific Midwest chill where your eyes start to cry without prompting.
You're used to it, it sounds like?
Yeah, I'm used to it. I used to live in Ireland, and it's a very damp, wet chill. Oh. And it made me appreciate the Chicago winters a lot more. Because if you can handle the wind chill, at least you can get warm and bundle up. So I actually don't mind them. Well, and if it's going to be cold, it might as well snow.
Yeah, and that's coming. That's on the way. Well, thanks so much for talking to us. We'll let you go get some warm coffee or warm up. We also talked to some delivery drivers, and what a job they have today. But the funny thing is, one of the guys that was delivering here this morning was delivering ice cream. Let's hear from him.
Hot days can be really, stressful, trying to get in and out of places as fast as you can so it doesn't melt, but don't have to worry about it now.
No, you don't. That ice cream's going to stay cold.
Oh, definitely.
Not as difficult, just got to bundle up a little bit more. And everyone has to eat.
Yeah, and everyone has to go to work.
Yes, ma'am.
So you just take it in stride.
You got to do what you got to do.
We're just, going through it, but it sounds like it's going to be a little warmer today, according to Mike, than it was yesterday. So every degree helps when it's this kind of cold. We'll have more from the Golden Apple coming up in the next hour.
I love that place. Thank you so much, Roseanne. We appreciate it. So glad you're back inside. We've got some breaking news this morning. Listen to this. A rare earthquake rattles downstate Illinois. It happened near Ullman. That's near Nokomis and Pana, between Springfield and St. Louis. The U.S. Geological Survey reports it was a magnitude 3.8 quake, and that is strong enough for some people to feel
Interesting. Okay, back up here in the city. 3 people hospitalized this morning after a fire broke out on the near north side here. It happened around 9:30 in the Goose Island neighborhood, about a block north of the Chicago Blue Line stop. Fire department says 1 resident along with 2 firefighters were hurt. As we take a look at a picture that was posted by the Chicago Fire Department on X, crews were able to put out the fire by 9:45. Investigators are now trying to figure out how it started.
New developments in Minnesota this morning. The Justice Department launching an investigation into protesters who interrupted a church service in St. Paul on Sunday. Trump officials say the group was about 30 people. They were targeting a local ICE official who is also a pastor there. Governor Tim Walz released a statement saying he in no way supports interrupting a place of worship. Denmark is boosting its number of troops on Greenland.
As Brian Jackson reports, comes as President Trump ramps up pressure to annex the territory. Brian?
Threats over Greenland have prompted a flurry of activity across Europe. President Trump says that he plans to charge a 10% tariff on goods from 8 European nations that currently oppose his plans. And now the EU is considering retaliation of its own, from new tariffs to freezing parts of the U.S.-EU trade agreement to sanctions aimed at countries it says are trying to strong-arm the bloc. An emergency meeting is currently set for this Thursday. And this comes as 3 of the most influential Catholic leaders in the country take aim at the Trump administration over its foreign policy decisions. Chicago Cardinal Blaise Cupich and the Cardinals of Washington and Newark released a joint statement saying in part, "As pastors entrusted with the teaching of our people, we cannot stand by while decisions are made that condemn millions to lives trapped permanently at the edge of existence. Pope Leo has given us clear direction, and we must apply his teachings to the conduct." That statement does not mention President Trump by name. So far, the White House is yet to respond. Natalie?
Brian, now that the Bears season is over, the focus, I should say, shifts to where they will play in the future. Lawmakers in Indiana considering a proposal to own and pay for part of a new stadium in the northwest corner of the Hoosier state. Meanwhile, legislation to give the Bears the ability to negotiate property tax rates has been stalled by Illinois House Speaker Chris Welch. On Friday, Arlington Heights Mayor Jim Tenaglia urged lawmakers in Springfield to get a deal done. Illinois lawmakers are back in Springfield this week. However, Indiana's session ends in 1 month.
Beck steps up, delivers downfield, intercepted! Jamari Sharp makes the pick that will clinch Indiana's first national championship.
Wasn't a dream, Hoosiers. Was not a dream. This is real life. The Hoosiers have made history, winning it all for the first time ever. Indiana finishing the season 16-0. 16-0. Perfect season. Miami Hurricanes put up quite the fight last night. Game got off to a slow start with Indiana leading 10-0 at the half. Hoosiers kicked it into high gear. You're watching right here. This is the defining play of the season. Quarterback Fernando Mendoza, Heisman winner, just 9 minutes left in the game. 4th and 4 is when they did that quarterback draw. took Miami's defense off guard. He launches right over the line there into the house. Was just the momentum the Hoosiers needed.
A big concept that we've really had on ourselves this year is always betting on ourselves. Whether it's preseason, no one thinks we can make it. Whether it's figuring it out in situations like Oregon, Penn State, and Iowa, we've always figured it out. And whenever Coach Cignetti, Coach Shanahan, you know, they called that play, we knew, hey, we're going to bet ourselves one more time in the biggest stage of the game.
All right, apparently he had the option of passing it off in that play, but took it himself. After reading the D there, Indiana winning the title 27-21. We're on cloud 9.
I cannot imagine an undefeated season.
Isn't that wild?
It is.
Yeah. I mean, will we ever see another team like this? I don't think it could get more special than what we saw this year.
We're super excited about it. And I know that Mike Kaplan is pumped as well. It's keeping us kind of warm this morning because it is so cold outside.
Hey, sunrise happening right now. By the way, since the day of the winter solstice, December 21st, we have added 30 minutes of possible sunlight to each day. So how about that?
I'll take it.
It's a sign of things to come. Spring can't be far away, right?
That's right.
Oh boy, there's plenty of winter in this forecast. Let's look at it. First of all, yeah, it's cold out there right now, and we have to talk about snow. You know, we've had kind of nuisance snows recently. This one's going to be a little bit more impactful for part of Chicagoland, and I still think that the highest chance of getting a 3+ is going to be Lake McHenry County and points west and then north into southern Wisconsin. When you look at this map, and this is the winter weather advisory, by the way. It goes into effect at 8 p.m. tonight, lasts for 10 hours, expires at 6 a.m. Don't look at that map and say, oh, well, that's fine. I'm here in the city, or I'm in Evergreen Park. No, I'm good. I'm in Crete. Nothing going on here. Oh, I'm in Batavia. It doesn't mean you're getting no snow. It just means that the heavier snow is going to be falling in those areas. When does the snow arrive? Tonight, during daylight hours, it's going to be sunny, and you might be, you know, inclined to think, oh, it's probably nice out. I don't need my hat or gloves, and then you're going to step outside without those items and be very, very sorry if you spend any time in this. Here comes the snow, moving in from the west overnight. It'll take a while for the atmosphere to saturate, but eventually we all get in on that snow. But by 6, 7 o'clock in the morning, this stuff is moving on out of here, and we're done, you'd think. But there's more coming in tomorrow during the evening. So we have 2 separate waves of snow. The first coming in tonight into early tomorrow morning, and then the second one coming in right about 7, 8 o'clock. This is a quick hit of snow showers, but there may be some bursts of pretty heavy snow with that, which could lead to some additional traffic disruptions. 7:12. We will be back with more of Good Day right after this. I'm looking at a beautiful sunrise from Sky Fox. And then there it is.
Live better, vote more.
Oh, yeah.
Welcome back, 7:15 on your Tuesday morning. Could the city of Chicago buy back its parking meters?
How are we still talking about this? Okay, so you remember how they were sold right out from under the taxpayers back in 2008. City got about $1 billion. I think it balanced the budget for a year. And the private consortium that took all the parking money made that back several times over. Now those meters are for sale, and Mayor Brandon Johnson is reportedly considering taking ownership back. But the big question is, will it be worth it?
I think if the city's even considering it, put it out there on the table. Let the public know what the cost would be. My guess would be well over $3 billion, more than double to get it back.
So that was 32nd Ward Alderman Scott Waguespack, and at the time, he was only one of 5 alders to vote against the deal back in 2008. So far, no comment from the mayor. Pay attention to this one. Apple's warning about a serious security flaw that could affect half of all iPhone users. They say browsers are allowing in a malicious website that tricks the iPhones and iPads into running harmful codes. Once that happens, the hackers can gain control of your device, steal passwords, and access your payment information. Apple's telling all iPhone and iPad users to update their software as soon as possible.
A new development this morning. Something cool was found inside the walls of a local distillery. Look at this here. Police were called to the Thornton Distilling Company after a gun was found during work inside the walls. And they say the gun itself actually dates back to the early 1900s. The gun was returned to its owners. We'll have to get the story behind that if it's got owners. All right, 7:17. Mike, the plot thickens with that story.
A Colt 1908, it's Prohibition era, and apparently it was loaded. It had a .380 bullet in there.
Hide it in the wall, I guess.
Yeah, right. Look at that beautiful sunrise.
Yeah.
You're tempted to think, oh, it's going to be a nice, sunny, warm day today. No. The sunny part, yes. The warm, definitely not. You can tell even by just looking at our buildings, they're exhaling. It's got that look of a cold morning. The other thing I'll point out, as we're looking west here over the river, Marina City, can you see that pink stripe? There it is. Talk about this occasionally, the Belt of Venus. And below that, the little dark blue area, that is called the shadow of the Earth, hitting the Earth's atmosphere. So kind of a cool western sky. We showed you both the sunrise and the opposite part of the sky. Temperature-wise, wherever you are in Chicagoland, it's cold. Even that 7 at Joliet, I'm not even sure why it is so much warmer there than Aurora with a 0, Midway 4, but it's cold everywhere. Look at the Rockford number, 4 below. That's not the wind chill. That is the actual air temperature. And as we have been reporting all morning long, the Earth was shaking downstate. This is in Christian County, west of Pana, south of Taylorville, a 3.8 magnitude earthquake, and I'm sure folks across central Illinois felt this thing. Not everybody. It was reported as far away as St. Louis. I haven't heard of anybody in Chicagoland feeling it a little bit too far away. Today, we're going to max out 22. Woohoo! Southwest winds 8 to 18. At least we'll have sunshine. Tonight, gear up for snow after about 8, 9 o'clock. The heaviest snow north. I'm thinking Lake and McHenry County, where the winter weather advisory is. Those are the spots. And if somebody's getting 4 inches of snow, it's going to happen there. Temperatures will actually rise into the upper 20s so that tomorrow's high gets up, close to 30, but I think we come up just a little bit shy. But there's more snow coming in tomorrow evening. That will be snow showers. And then it's not snow, it is cold taking center stage. Friday, the worst of it, with a high of 0 and a low Friday night of 8 degrees below 0. Sky Fox has been able to fly today, unlike yesterday, giving us a nice view of
the Eisenhower right now, Mike. And we have a crash reported on the inbound side of the Ike near 25th. They're on their way there right now. Let's see if we can catch up with them at the end of this report. But I want to give us a look at the drive times. Remember, Sky Fox was just over the inbound side of the Kennedy at North Avenue, where we had a 2-vehicle crash, and it looked like 2 fire trucks were showing up kind of as we're pulling up, wanting to see what was happening on the Eisenhower. But still, still, obviously, it's going to cause a lot of traffic. Essentially, your stop and go is starting around the Tri-State all the way in to the junction, and then again past that. A full 55 minutes to an hour on the inbound side of the Kennedy from O'Hare to downtown. 50 minutes on the Eisenhower, depending on this crash that we're going to check out. Might be bumping up pretty soon. 50 minutes as well on the Stevenson. 35 minutes on the Dan Ryan from 95th to the Byrne interchange. As you see, I-57 a little more packed than the Bishop Ford is as you approach 95th. Let's also go over to a crash that's reported on the northbound side at 355. That's kind of starting to cause a lot of traffic. It's at 63rd Street, and it looks like it's blocking at least a couple of lanes. We don't have time to get over there, but hopefully we can give you a look. And it looks like we're still trying to search for this crash over here. We'll keep you updated on this and much more. I'll send it back to you, or we're going to break. We'll be right back with much more Good Day Chicago.
This show's all about.
Welcome back to Good Day Chicago. Several more Chicago Police Department workers are being accused of fraudulently obtaining paycheck protection loans, those PPP loans, during the pandemic. And that's not the only new revelation. Inspector General Deborah Witzberg's latest report discovered, and she's here to talk a little bit about it. Thanks for coming in.
Thanks for having me.
So, you know, I think this is so discouraging to hear because you trust the Chicago Police Department. You think that everybody working there has been vetted and is doing the right thing. But I know you can't share all of the specifics, but tell me what your report found.
Well, of course, that's right. There's a huge amount of good and honorable work being done in the uniform of the Chicago Police Department every day. There are also people breaking the rules, and when that happens, it's our responsibility to hold them accountable. So in the quarterly report that we issued just last week, we found that 2 additional CPD members, in addition to those we reported on so far, obtained PPP loans by defrauding the government. They made false statements in order to obtain those loans, and those people don't get to be police officers anymore. You don't get to both defraud the government and work for the government, and it is never more important than with our Chicago Police Department members that we can trust what people say.
So what happened to those employees then?
We asked the Chicago Police Department to fire them, to separate them from the department, and CPD has agreed to do so.
How big of an issue is this PPP loan fraud within the city of Chicago?
Well, a big one. At the beginning of this investigative effort, we identified about 1,000 loans that had been issued to people under our jurisdiction, city employees and officials. Now, certainly not all of those were fraudulent. Some of those were legitimate loans, but many of them have some indicia of fraud, and we are working through that pile of cases to make sure we're holding people accountable.
And the fact that you're still discovering them, I mean, dating back to what, 2020, 2021?
That's right. This is an enormous effort.
The other thing that you revealed were some illegal campaign contributions. Tell us about that.
That's right. So over the last couple of years, we've really harnessed our data capacities to do proactive campaign oversight. We cannot have a for sale sign on the door to City Hall. We've got to get illegal money out of city politics so that we can be certain that city officials are making decisions because they're the best for Chicagoans, not because they're the best for their own bottom line. And so in this quarter, we report on over $180,000 in illegal campaign contributions, which we had returned when we discovered them.
And can you explain that a little? Because sometimes it's a fine line. So what counts as an illegal contribution?
It's a really good question. There are categories of people who have restrictions on how much they can contribute to a candidate for a city office. Those are so different restrictions for different categories.
Okay.
Those categories include city employees, city contractors, people seeking to do business with the city, lobbyists, etc. So if someone falls into one of those categories, there are certain rules governing how much they can contribute.
You know, we all want to make our city a better place, and oftentimes we get emails from, you know, community members saying, hey, I think something is going on here that just doesn't seem right to me. Do people have a way to reach your office and submit those reports?
Absolutely, and nearly 10,000 people a year do exactly that. So at igchicago.org, there's a section for Contact Us, and it lists all of our contact information. We are really anxious to hear from people. Nobody knows Chicagoans. No one knows Chicago like Chicagoans.
Right.
And so we are very anxious to hear from people when they're worried about something going wrong, or they have a suggestion for something that could be better, or when they're worried about the way government is working or not working. We are really anxious to hear from people.
All right, Deborah, thank you so much for your insight once again this morning.
Thanks for having me.
Sure thing. All right, let's send it back over to Mike.
All right, cold morning out there. Wind chills are way below zero despite all that sunshine that you see out there. It is going to stay cold, but the coldest day, Friday. I got 3 nights this week with sub-zero lows. And, oh yeah, there's snow coming. I'll tell you when we come right back.
welcome back to Good Day Chicago. It is Tuesday. It is just about 7:30.
Cold start to the morning. We appreciate you joining us this Tuesday morning. Here's a look at some of our headlines. The magnitude of the downstate earthquake. Yes, an earthquake hit southern Illinois this morning. It's been upgraded. We thought it was a 3.5 on that Richter scale. It's up to 3.8. It happened near the town of Olmutz, a tiny 109-person one-stoplight town between Springfield and St. Louis, right around Nokomis and Pana. Is that right, Natalie? She's our expert for downstate geography. Happened at 1:30 a.m., and it was actually strong enough to be rumbled if you did live down there. So far, no reports of any significant damage.
My parents did not feel
wake up.
And I think they were both sleeping. Yes. Chicago will have its 6th warming centers open. It's all total of 6. Later this morning, we want you to be aware of this if you need a place to go. The Garfield Center on South Kedzie stays open 24 hours. The warming centers open when the temperature drops below 32 degrees, and it is far below that today. The city says seniors can use any of the 21 senior centers as a warming center. And also a quick reminder, if you have a phone, dial 311. That's the city's hotline, and they'll direct you to the closest warming center.
Right. All right, here's something cool, and I missed this, so I'm excited to see this footage. Former Blackhawk Jonathan Toews got a huge ovation returning to the UC. Toews now with the Jets, and the fans gave him a 3.5-minute ovation. You love to see this. This is the best of the Hawks and their fans. A night to see Toews. Hawks won the game as well, 2-0.
He has been through so much, and the fact that he is able to come back, what an inspiration. Caleb Williams there as well with another player, but I can't recall who that other person is. But
I didn't see I just saw Caleb going like that.
Yeah, he was there. Leaders in Orland Park are giving the green light on next steps for a proposed Amazon facility.
Some residents there not too thrilled. They're worried about traffic. We're checking back in with Say Kwan, who is live in Orland Park with more on this. Say.
Hey, good morning to you guys. Well, this new first-of-its-kind Amazon facility has become quite the buzz here in Orland Park. It's set to be built right along 159th and LaGrange. And if you live in the southwest suburbs, if you know this area, you would know that this intersection gets very congested. You can see that already this morning with some traffic picking up. But it's also home to major retailers, including Costco, which is just a half-mile away from where we are right now. Now, Amazon's brand new retail concept would feature groceries and general merchandise in more than 800 parking spaces. Keep in mind, this is also expected to be massive. We're talking 225,000 square feet. Just for some context here, Walmart supercenters typically average around 180,000 square feet. Board members heard from people living here and, of course, these nearby business owners who weren't too thrilled about this proposal, mostly due to those traffic concerns, but also because of how quickly this project has been moving. We also heard from Orland Park's mayor, who says on average 70,000 cars pass through this intersection every day.
Amazon is an innovator. They're a big, aggressive, successful firm. You know who else is big and aggressive and successful at what they do? It happens to be in their retail business, who's across the town in Seattle from Amazon, is Costco. And I fully expect that all of these businesses will find ways to innovate and serve, because it kind of matters.
Well, meanwhile, village officials say this new store could help boost the local economy, bringing 500 jobs and additional sales tax revenue to the village. Amazon representatives also say multiple traffic studies were done before this was even proposed. Some of their improvements include widening a nearby road and adding some traffic signals to help reduce some of the congestion. Construction, we know, could start as early as this spring, with plans to have that new store up and running by 2027. Back to you.
Thank you, Sam. Well, the trial of the man accused of killing Cook County Judge Raymond Miles will resume today. Miles and his girlfriend were both shot in 2017. Prosecutors say that Earl Wilson thought the Miles' girlfriend had money in her gym bag. A second person who had been charged, Joshua Smith, pleaded guilty 2 years ago. Miles was leaving his home when he was shot. His girlfriend survived. Prosecutors say that Wilson had previously served 12 years for attempted murder. The tension between Europe and the White House over Greenland is growing this morning. At an economic summit in Switzerland, the EU's top official questioned President Trump's trustworthiness. The president released a series of texts that appear to be from European leaders. including French President Emmanuel Macron, who said that he supported the president on Iran, but did not understand why he was after Greenland. Yesterday, Norway released a letter from the president that seemed to imply that it was partial retaliation for not winning the Nobel Peace Prize. That battle over Greenland has caused hat sales to actually rise in Greenland and in Denmark. People are snatching up the red Make America Go Away hats. They are a play on the president's red Make America Great Again caps. These hats were actually first released back in 2024, but they were not a hit. Well, that changed when the president started threatening to take over Greenland. Well, when's the last time you saw a good goalie fight in the NHL? I know Mike's going to like this one because they were playing the feud last night in Florida. The Panthers and Sharks goalies started going at it during the third period. They're throwing some haymakers in there, too. Sportsnet says it is the first goalie fight in the NHL since 2020. The Sharks actually went on to win that game 4-1. You can see the guys on the bench just loving this one. How do goalies get into it, Mike? I'm just wondering, like, do they have beef?
There's a signal. There's a signal from across the ice. One will wave like, you want to go, you want to go. And then, of course, who's going to, you got to get the face mask
gear off.
Otherwise,
they wear so much gear than everybody else, right?
I know. But this was fun. I saw this on Instagram last night. I was like, oh, man.
That's a good one, too.
That's a good one. Fun stuff there. I don't think anybody got seriously hurt.
No.
But you could see
I just love the reaction from the Sharks.
they loved it. The other players loved it. All right. I'm not sure how you love snow and cold, but we've got plenty of it coming up. And not that much snow. And the majority of the snow that's going to be more impactful is going to be targeting the northern tier of counties tonight. So here's the deal. Snow and more cold coming. Snow tonight into tomorrow morning. Additional snow showers tomorrow evening. And then it's frigid Friday through Sunday. And on Friday, really Friday through Saturday morning, that is the worst of it. Temperatures likely to stay below zero. Beautiful sunrise in progress now. It's 3 at O'Hare with just enough wind to produce a wind chill of 12. A lot of Chicagoland still with double-digit below zero wind chills this morning. Well, that may not get it cut on Friday night into Saturday morning. I bet we get another one of those cold weather advisories. It's 1 below. This is the temperature, not the wind chill. 1 below at Waukegan, 0 at Aurora and Valparaiso. Joliet, kind of been stuck at 7 ever since I got into work early this morning. I wonder if something's wrong with the thermometer out there. The wind chill there, consequently, not as bad as other parts of Chicagoland, but you see a lot of double digits below zero. Look at that Woodstock number. 18 below zero is the wind chill. It's almost as bad as yesterday. The difference, a lot of sunshine. We're not dealing with the blowing snow that we had yesterday. And you'll see a lot of sun. Late afternoon, that's when cloud cover starts to move in advance of a snowmaker. It's an Alberta Clipper. Doesn't have a tremendous amount of moisture to work with, but it will snow across pretty much all of Chicagoland late tonight with the heaviest snow targeting Lake and McHenry County. Then tomorrow, after you've done away with the snow, you're thinking, oh, probably no more snow coming. Until this, snow showers during the evening. This will last for just a couple of hours, but it might be enough to produce a ½ inch to 1 inch of snow, at least on an isolated basis, before we clear the snow out of here. And then it's just all about the cold that is coming in for the end of the week and into next week. Today's high 22, sunny to partly cloudy. Wind chills will be close to 0. Tonight, get ready for snow, especially in the far northern suburbs, where 2 to 4 inches could come down. Let's look at some very fine photos. How about this? This is a snowy owl. Randy Bearden gives us a look. That is a female snowy, by the way. Females, compared with the males, have much more of that mottled feathering on them. The male snowies are almost entirely white. These snowy owls in recent years have been coming out of places where they typically, usually way north, tundra. That's where these guys are. But they have been coming farther south in recent years. And that is a pretty shot there, Randy. Next up, I can tell that owl was looking at you, too. How about this shot? Bird in flight. Glenn Cuppert giving us a backlit house sparrow there in Arlington Heights. Like the wing detail. Good shot there, Glenn. Photo number 3, one of many. I got so many pictures of this from yesterday. This was a 22-degree solar halo from Ron Radke. And off to the side, part of that halo, those are the sun dogs. Fancy name for those is parhelia. Good picture. And how about this video from Annie Hahn Hansen to give you an idea of what that looked like in its entirety. And that's just a pretty shot there in Round Lake. You've got the sundogs on either side, and hopefully you can make out a lot of that actual halo going up and around the sun. Good stuff there. Appreciate all of your contributions today. It's going to be a sunny day, but it's staying cold. The worst of the cold is coming. More of Good Day right after this.
Your one-stop shop for fishing retail.
Welcome back, 742 on your Tuesday morning. Tension between ICE and people living around Minneapolis have not cooled off.
Bill Keller with our sister station in Minneapolis joins us live with more. And Bill, we've learned the Justice Department is investigating protesters who interrupted a church service on Sunday. We've been reporting that this morning. What are you hearing about that investigation?
Well, good morning. Yeah, in fact, the president posting on Truth Social overnight saying specifically he calls the disruption the professional protesters. He says they should be thrown in jail. Again, they want to investigate this. The concern is that the DOJ says that these protesters have violated a federal law, one that essentially protects religious freedom, free from intimidation and interference. That's just the latest on one of many protests that we've seen here in the Twin Cities since this Operation Metro Surge began at the beginning of December.
Okay, what do we expect to happen next then? What are the details of the response that the Trump administration is giving? Give us updated, Bill.
Well, there are a number of federal lawsuits that have been filed since this started. The most recent is between Minneapolis, St. Paul, and the state of Minnesota, filing suit against Kristi Noem, the administration. Basically, they want to put an end to these ICE raids here in the Twin Cities. At the very least, some very significant changes in how the day-to-day operations are going. They want to get rid of the masks. They want body cameras to be required. They want the agents to stop really physically engaging with protesters. That is one of the biggest concerns. The state, the federal government, had until last night to file its response. They did that late in the day, essentially calling this lawsuit frivolous. They're asking the Department of Justice, the federal government, to not give the state of Minnesota a temporary restraining order. The state, Minnesota, has until Thursday to file its response as well. In the meantime, it's pretty much business as usual.
Bill Keller, live at our sister station in Minneapolis. Thank you so much, Bill. 7:44 now this morning. Here's a look at what's coming up on Good Day Chicago at 8 and 9.
Everything.
Welcome back to Good Day Chicago. Taking a live look at the salt-laden and snow-fallen streets out there this morning.
Just
Looks like my
beautiful.
car.
I love your vocabulary, Natalie.
Thank you.
Wow. Yes.
She did that.
All right, the sunrise, though, is a much more beautiful shot for us this morning as we celebrate waking up on a Tuesday.
And the more time you spend indoors, the happier you're going to be, not just today, but for the next several days. We have some snow coming, too, and where the winter weather advisory goes into effect tonight at 8 o'clock, that's where the snow is going to be the heaviest. But again, when I show you this map, I don't want you, if you're in Rogers Park, if you're in Naperville, if you're in Oswego, you're not getting zero snow. You're just getting less snow. It'll be less impactful. But if you're in, let's say Highland Park, if you're in Harvard, if you're Woodstock, Waukegan, Gurnee, that is where there could be some 4-inch snowfall totals, and that's why the Weather Service put out that winter weather advisory from 8 p.m. till 6 a.m. Here's the dealio. It's a clipper coming in from the northwest, as they do. It's going to produce snow here, I think, kind of after 8 o'clock, and then getting out of here by 6 a.m. tomorrow. But that's not the end of it. There's another little band or area of snow showers that will come through here tomorrow evening. That could put down a quick ½ inch to maybe an inch on kind of an isolated or stripy pattern, if you will, before that moves out of here, later tomorrow night. Thursday and beyond, the focus is not on snow, it is on what temperatures are going to do, and they're going nowhere good anytime soon. Today, we'll hit 22 in the afternoon, sunshine early, a few clouds late in the afternoon ahead of the snow tonight, which will get going, after 8 o'clock. Farther west you are, the sooner you get in on it, after midnight, maybe for northwest Indiana. Temperatures will actually rise overnight from 18 degrees, and I expect 2 to 4 inches in the northern suburbs, should be 2 inches or less city and points south. 28 tomorrow. There's that second area of snow showers tomorrow night. Then just feast your eyes on those temperatures. 3 nights of sub-zero lows on the way and a high on Friday of 0. 0.
That's the
No
high,
degrees
huh?
for you. No degrees.
No degrees. Not even
degrees.
a degree.
Not even a degree. Oh, man.
All right. You won't be surprised to find out you're paying a lot of money for cars.
Edmunds and the Kelley Blue Book says a new car will cost about $50,000, and there's not any new cars under 20 grand these days. Imports are going way up because of tariffs, and the car makers can't eat all the costs themselves. The least expensive new car out there right now, the 2026 Hyundai Venue, that starts at $21,000.
My goodness.
Wow.
Okay, while you're spooning down those Cocoa Pebbles, might want to take a hit of vinegar as well. Doctors say a tablespoon of vinegar is good for you. They say the acid in vinegar helps with blood sugar control, gut health, and mood. Doctors say you should dilute that vinegar with some water before you take a shot.
All right, there is a wicked new exhibit opening at the Griffith MSI.
Jake clicked his heels 3 times. He popped on over there this morning, and he is live with more. Hi, Jake.
That's right, guys. It is a new exhibit that is sure to be popular. You might not know the name Paul Tazewell, but I promise you know his work. Just take a look behind me. Paul Tazewell, an Oscar, Emmy, and Tony Award-winning costume designer. Most recently, just last year, won an Oscar for these costumes you're looking at right now for a little film he did called Wicked. He also designed the costumes for Hamilton, for West Side Story, a slew of incredible work that has basically cemented him as one of the great costume designers of all time. But now you can see his work up close and personal in a new exhibit here at Griffin Museum of Science and Industry. It's called Crafting Character, the costumes of Paul Tazewell. And Paul's actually on site in Chicago yesterday to talk about just how this thing came together.
Really digging deep in how I wanted to tell the story of inspiration and the costume, the costumes designs that I've been a part of, what would be reflective of my work. I think, through that study, through, going on that journey, we came to, this group that is very, beautiful examples of what my process is and how I focus on creating worlds and telling stories about character.
So guys, this exhibit is open now through September 7th, but here's the best part. It is free with a general admission. You don't have to pay an extra fee or an extra ticket in order to get in. Now, this is just one of 5 different rooms we're going to be taking you in throughout the morning. They have costumes here from Hamilton, from The Wiz, from West Side Story. And when you see these costumes up close and personal, guys, just take a look at this. You might remember if you saw Wicked, this is Glinda's, this is Ariana Grande's dress. When you get up close and personal, it's one thing to see these costumes on the big screen or when you're streaming at home, but when you see them up close and personal and you can see the details, you really start to understand why Paul Tazewell really is one of the great costume designers of our time. Right there, you got, of course, Cynthia Erivo, Elphaba, the Wicked Witch of the West. This is just one example of so many we're going to be showing you throughout the morning. But I was speaking with someone here at Griffin MSI, and they said, as you might expect, because of the recent popularity of the Wicked films, that when they did the previews yesterday, guys, this room was, please forgive me, no pun intended, the most popular. This is the room most people, their jaws dropped when they came in, particularly a lot of the little girls seeing Elphaba, seeing Glinda. And just as a movie fan, it's cool to see it in person. So we're going to have more out here at Griffin MSI, the exhibit, Crafting Character, the costumes of Paul Tazewell, as we toss it back to, oh, really quick, can I show you guys something?
Yes.
Look at this. Look, I don't know if you can tell, look, the floor moves with the yellow brick road and kind of the green brick, as you're walking along. And because I have the sensibility of an 8-year-old child, I've been doing this all morning.
I thought he was going to have ruby red slippers on and click the heels.
That's what I thought we were going to see. Maybe
he's
next
basically
time.
saying, what's the difference?
Yeah, exactly.
It's basically the same thing.
Stylish footwear nonetheless.
But they've done a really great
They
job
have.
in laying out that exhibit with all the movie walls.
Absolutely. And perfect timing for an indoor activity this time of year. Good stuff. Jake Hamilton, thank you, sir.
Plenty more Good Days Chicago ahead. Keep it right here.
As we take a look at our traffic times, it's stacking up out there, everybody. Drive safe on a cold morning. We'll see us right after this.
At Postman.
Welcome back. You won't have to go all the way to Las Vegas anymore to see the Sphere. You'll just have to go to Maryland. Apparently, there's a smaller version of the Sphere coming to National Harbor, and it's going to seat about 6,000 people. However, it's still going to be at least 2030 before it opens to the public.
There you have
There
it.
we go.
More Americans ditching traditional wedding parties. Wedding planners say the primary reason for the decline is because couples are becoming increasingly financially conscious. Choosing to forego traditional bachelor and bachelorette parties can help not only keep wedding costs down, obviously, but also offer less logistical headaches. Oh, the video that we just showed.
All right, for an amusement ride, it wasn't very amusing. The Stardust Racers ride came to an unexpected stop Sunday at Universal Orlando. It failed to clear its second peak due to a combo of high winds and unusually cold temperatures, which stopped the coaster's momentum. Apparently, the same thing happened a little over a year ago during a test run of that ride. Fortunately, the riders were safely rescued.
That would be the ride of a lifetime.
Yes,
and it's time for the annual Pro Ski Joring competition in Utah. Little bit of an issue this year. You're looking at it. The event features a horse with a rider pulling a skier through obstacles in the snow, but there's no snow. Rising temperatures at the arena there created up to 18 inches of mud. Certainly a hazard for horses. So they moved out to the parking lot and they used artificial snow. The competition will continue this weekend at a local fairgrounds.
All right, check out these giant icebergs. They are floating down the river outside Hamburg, Germany. Some icebergs big enough for people to climb on along the banks of the river there. Those giant clumps of ice and snow formed after recent